All right, people, here we are, back together again. Are you feeling all right? Have you had a good weekend? Hope so. I know I'm all fired up one more time. Here we go. Had another good breakfast. I'm peppy, people. Watch out. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a couple bad jokes on you before we get started with our surface area lesson. So here's bad joke number one. Actually, it's a good joke, but you'll think it's a bad joke. So the question is, how excited was the gardener about spring? How excited was the gardener about spring? He was so excited, he wet his plants. I know you like that one. And then, of course, we got to have a little bit of a toilet paper joke. So why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road? Because it got stuck in a crack. You knew that one already, though, didn't you? That's a good one. All right, so here we go. So today we are talking about the surface area of cubes and rectangular prisms, people. All right, so numero uno. Let's talk about some vocabulary words that when we read the word problems later on, okay, when we see those vocabulary words, they're going to mean surface area. All right, so the surface area words are cover it, paint it, can't even spell, make a box, let's see, put some icing on it, like if you're icing a cake. We've got cover it, paint it, make a box, icing a cake. I think that might be it. If any more come to me, I'll put them back on there. But at the moment, those are, if you read a word problem, it says something about covering it. Oh, here's another one. Using wrapping paper. That's it. All right. So if you can cover it, you can cover it with plastic. You can cover it with wrapping paper. You can cover it with aluminum foil. You can cover it with tissue paper, whatever. So if you cover it, you paint it in some way, you make a box, make a cardboard box out of it, fold it up into a box, you ice the cake, you wrap it, anything that you're doing to the outside, okay? Something to the outside of the figure. Here we're going to be talking about the surface area, okay? So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about how you get the surface area of cubes and rectangular prisms, because they're kind of very similar and go together. So I'm going to try to give you a couple good examples, and then hopefully you'll be ready to go with that, okay? So let's first of all talk about our friend the cube, okay? So again, I'm just going to kind of draw these out 3D real fast for you so you can kind of get an idea. So just so you know, a cube has 6 faces, okay? And all 6 faces are congruent, okay? All 6 faces are the same. And the symbol for congruent, of course, is that, the little equal sign with a squiggly line over the top of it. So, of course, it's made up of 6 squares, okay? So, if it were to be unfolded, okay, like if you had the box, if you had, well, let's take our little friend here, we got this cube. So, if I was to take that, okay, and I would take it, and if I was able to unfold it, okay, and lay it out in front of you, it's going to look something like this, okay? So, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'd have another one. Kind of looks like a cross, really. Okay. If you folded that up, of course, you'd have the cube. So there's 6 faces there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 of them are the same. Okay. So if you're going to find the surface area, if you find the area of one face, and then you multiply it by 6. You have the surface area for the cube. So let's say the only thing we knew was that this side was 10 centimeters. Okay? So if you wanted to find the area of one of those squares, of course, to find the area of one of those, you would do side times side, or otherwise known as side squared. So how much is 10 times 10? You got it. It's 100. So since there are 6 of them, that means each one of those is 100. So that, of course, that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Or you can write it as the surface area formula is 6s squared, like that. which in this case would be 6 times 10 squared, and of course that would be 6 times 100, because 10 squared is 100, and that means it would be 600. Now when we go back to area, okay, like you can see here where we did side squared, all this is going to be back in centimeters squared or inches squared. So there's something else we could add back up here to the top. You can put square units. Being cubic units.
So this could be, of course, square units, because everything's going to be squared. Alright, so now I'm going to put one more down here for you. I'm just going to put the picture of the cube, and I'm going to give you just a second to see if you can work it out, and then I'll explain it, okay? So let's say again, when we've got our little cube here, I'll put it into a word problem for you, okay? Alright, so let's say you were going to cover this with fabric. Alright, again, covering it, okay, like we said up here at the top, okay, covering it is a surface area terminology, okay. So if you're going to cover it with fabric, and you knew that one side was 15 inches long, okay, I'd like you to find the surface area of that, okay. So I'm just going to give you 1 second. I'm going to go run and get my calculator. So if you don't have yours, you need to get it, and we'll come right back. So I'm going to give you about 10 seconds, see if you can get it started. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so our formula is surface area is 6s squared. Okay, so if we know that one side's 15, okay, and I'd kind of dot that in, give it that 3D effect again over there. Okay, so down here on the bottom or on the front or on the side, whatever way you want to do it, okay, that'd be 15, that'd be 15. So you're doing 6 of those, 15 squared. Okay, 15 squared is going to give you the area of one of those sides. So if you want to do it on your calculator, that would be 15 squared. Okay, if you don't have a squared button, remember you just do 15 times 15. Still going to give you 225. All right. So we know that one side would be 225. There are 6 of them, like we talked about up here. All 6 of them are the same. They're all congruent. So 6 times 225. So I can just take that and multiply it by 6. Or you can do 6 times 225. And you can see you get 1,350. 1,350. And that would be inches, because we got inches right there, squared. Okay. So if you're going to cover that with fabric, that would take you 1,350 square inches. 1,350 square inches. Alright, so there's the cube. That's how easy the cube is. 6s squared. Okay, 6s squared. So take your side, square it, multiply it by 6, because all 6 faces are the same. Alright, you got that? Good. Alright, so let's take it on down here to the next one. We're going to talk about a rectangular prism. Today, this will be our last one, okay? Alright, so the old rectangular prism. So a good way to think about this is, you know, think about your cereal box. Or if you ever get something from Amazon or wherever, usually they're sending it to you in something that's a rectangular prism. So let me pull one out here and just, yeah, so we can kind of have a visual on it. So there's our rectangular prism, okay? Now you can see, of course, this does not have all sides that are the same because it's not made up out of squares. But how many faces does it have? Still got 6, okay? So this also has 6 faces. Alright, so just like the cube, same number of faces, just not the same type of shape, okay? So we have to find the area of all 6 faces. Alright, so let's draw this one over here, and then we'll kind of break it down. So think about since we just came through St. Patrick's Day, let's talk about, hey, maybe this is Lucky Charms box. Or, you know, I like Raisin Bran, Fruit Loops, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know what you like. I'm sure you've got one you like, okay? But, you know, just visualize that, or, you know, if you want to run over to the cabinet real fast and pull it out so you can see it, that'd be good. Alright, so, of course you can see we've got one here and one up here, but, you know, the bottom and the top, they're going to be the same. And then the right side over here where maybe the nutrition information, and this side over here on the left, they're going to be the same. And then the front out here where it says Lucky Charms or Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever it is, that's the same as the one on the back there, okay? So, there are two of each kind of side, alright? So we know this is the length and the width and the height. So from when we did our volume stuff, of course, you know, we just did length times width times height, got the volume of it, and that's all she wrote. Probably one of the easiest formulas you can do. Alright, so this one's going to still use the length, width, and height, but it's going to be a little more complicated, okay? So for rectangular prism, here's your formula for surface area. There are two of the length times width sides plus two of the length times height sides plus two of the width times height sides. So I'm going to go through it step by step and show you what I'm talking about, okay? So if you unfolded this, okay, those two on the sides would be the same, the front and the back would be the same, the top and the bottom would be the same. So there's two of each one of them, okay? So if I draw it out, this is going to be a test right here now. Alright, so we've got the top, we got that one, and we got that one, and we got that, and then over here on the sides we got that, and we got that. Now don't make fun of my artistry now, I can hear you people laughing at me already, okay? You snicker somewhere else. Alright, so this is the bottom, this is the top, okay, here and here. This is the right side, this is the left side. So over here where the nutrition information would be, and then, you know, over here's the other one. Then of course you got the front and the back. I don't think I drew that exactly right, but you get the idea, okay? So I'm just going to put right and left, okay? Those are the same. Top and bottom, okay? Those are the same. Front and back. Alright, so that where the big part is, and that one would be the same. So you can see there's 6 faces. So let's just use some measurements here, and it'll help make it even better. So let's say this is 18 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and let's say it's 20 centimeters tall. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do 2 of the length times width. That'll be 18 times 7. And there's 2 of those, and we'll come back and do that in a second. Then the length and height, okay, which would be where the front and the back are. So that's 18 times 20, okay, 18 times 20. There's 2 of those, front and back. Alright, and then over here where the nutrition information is, the width and the height, there's 2 of those. That would be 7 times 20. Alright, so I'm just going to do it one step at a time. So 18 times 7 is 126, and there are 2 of those, so that's 252 for the 2 of them. 18 times 20, okay, that would be for the front and the back. That's 360. And there are 2 of those, the front and the back. So you're going to multiply that by 2. And that's 720. And then over there where the nutrition information is, okay, the skinny side, that's 7 times 20, which of course is 140. And 240s is 280. Alright, then you have to add all those together to get the total surface area. Okay, so 252 plus 720 plus 280. That gives you a grand total of all 6 surfaces, or all 6 faces, 1,252, and that would of course go back to, what we say, centimeters squared. Okay? So, the left and the right, okay? The front and the back are the same. Top and bottom distinct heights, 2 width heights.
That's all 6 faces added together, 1252. Alright, I hope this gives you a good explanation about how to do the rectangular prism and the cube. And don't forget your surface area words. Cover it, paint it, make a box. Anything with square units, icing a cake, wrapping it with wrapping paper, something doing around the outside of it. Those are our surface area words. Until next time, people, arrivederci, sayonara, and hasta la vista, ciao.